by the name of Linda. Now, Linda had assured her mother that she had said her prayers the night before. But she added that when I got down on my knees and began to think that God hears the same old stuff every night. So this time I decided to tell him the story of the three bears. Oh man, that was really lame. Yes. All right. Around this church, we got a bunch of people that go 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha. That's about my humor. That's about the only kind of laugh I ever get. 1, 2, 3. Ha ha ha. Another boy had hoped in vain for a new pair of high top boots, and he went on strike. He went on strike at prayer time, and he explained to his mother, "It's no use. Art doesn't listen." Mom pops back and says, "Art who?" And then he adds, "Art in heaven," he sadly explained. "Our Father who art in heaven." There we go. This story is kind of significant for me because I've been in some of those places in my life where it seems like no matter how much prayer I do, no matter how many days I fast, no matter how much I try to get a hold of God, no matter what else no matter what anybody else says to me, there is still a nagging, and I still cannot get a hold of what it is I'm looking for. Art doesn't listen anyway. I understand what that's like because sometimes I've talked to him and it seems like he was turning a deaf ear. Can I stop real quick and tell you, I don't care what it seems like, he still hears every word that's uttered out of my mouth. He still knows right where you are. Several years ago now, I'm going to take out just one brief week out of my life so that you can know some of the kind of life I've lived. Just a little part. One particular week, I had just started pastoring. I wasn't pastoring here, I was pastoring in Uvalde, Texas. I had just been voted in. So we were pumped, we were excited about to do the work of the Lord. It was my dream all my life. Finally, man, honey, we have made it. We just had a little girl, our oldest daughter now, but back then she was a year, maybe not even that old, I don't remember exactly. But here we are, and we got in the car. It was old Celebrity, almost like the one we're driving today. It's an old beat-up Celebrity. We got in that Celebrity and we went down to Uvalde from Cibolo area, so not too far from here. We're driving down there, and this cop, we're coming right outside of Bexar County, and this sheriff turns his lights on and pulls me over. Now, you got to remember, I'm going to have to go preach about how good God is. God's merciful, God's gracious. And I got these lights on behind me. All of a sudden, God's goodness. So he turns his lights on, I pull over, and now I'm kind of in a rush because I got to get there. I got to talk about how good God is. And so I'm sitting here and I'm waiting, and he comes over and he says, "Sir, is there a reason you don't have your seatbelt on?" "Oh, you stopped me for my seatbelt." That's what went through my mind. I got to preach about how good God is, and you stopped me for my seatbelt. So I get a ticket. Now I got to go preach about how good God is after I just got this ticket. Tickets aren't like going to the movies where you get a movie ticket. This one actually costs you, So I get this ticket, and then I go in, and I still manage. We got a good service, and we get out. We get into the car. We start it up, and we head home. It's about summertime, about 100 degrees, almost like this past summer. We get in the car, and we're heading out, and we go through. We're past Hondo. Anybody ever been out to Uvalde? No? Okay. Then you know there's a bunch of nothing with a few towns here and there. It's desolate. So here we are, we're driving down, and we've just passed, we've gone through Hondo, and now we're coming into Castroville. Coming into Castroville, all of a sudden, my car decides it's going to overheat. Now, in case you don't know, I'm not a mechanic. Amen. I told you. Don't ever call me to work on your car if you want to be able to drive it again. So I get out there and I'm about to prove my mechanical skills. I got out there, I popped the hood, and I looked, and there's smoke coming out everywhere. And I thought, oh, I can fix this. So we'll stop, we'll put some water in. I had some in the trunk, so we poured some water in. Now, granted, I looked in this thing, and the hose, you know, for me, hey, it'll work. There's water shooting out of the hose. It's busted. So there's water. I thought, well, I'll put some water in the cooler. We'll be good to go. And so I did. We went a little bit further, and all of a sudden, now it wasn't overheating like it was before. It wasn't running, period. The thing outright, just flat out broke, died. It's 100 degrees out there. My wife is sitting in the car with our about a year-old child or thereabouts. And I'm having to start walking, finding someplace. Now, if you've ever been out to Uvalde, you know there's nothing. And in between Castroville and Hondo, there's really nothing but a couple of hills. Well, I got to meet those hills very personally. As I started to walk, and I hit that first one, and then thank God somebody had mercy and saw me and came back around and, can we help you? Oh, thank you. Yeah, so we got a ride. Finally, we got home. That was Sunday. Now, that's just the beginning of my week. I then go into work and they tell me, now me and my manager got along great. I go into work and my manager tells me, well, I'm sorry, but effective immediately, I'm no longer your manager. That guy is. That guy and I didn't get along. That guy wasn't the kind of employer I liked to deal with. And so now, it's 100 and some degrees. I'm working in a warehouse. It's hot out there. Probably it seems like it's 120 degrees. And I'm dealing with this jerk of a boss who doesn't know anything. I just got a ticket. I lost my car. And now I've got a job that's just kaput. I want to quit. I desperately want to move to Uvalde. I want to get away from this mess. So then, I got one thing. Now the week has progressed. And I'm dealing with this boss. And I come home. And it's about Thursday or Friday, and I walk into the house, and I feel it's a little warm. It's a little warm for me, and I come in, and the first thing my wife says, well, honey, the air condition broke. All right, so now I got a ticket from a dumb cop. I lost my car, and my job's got a new boss that's a jerk. And now my air conditioning goes. Where am I going to go now? I can't go sleep someplace. What am I going to do? I'm sitting and watching as my life falls apart right in front of me on this 1 week. And then I go off. I come back home. I don't remember what I was out doing, but I come back home and my wife tells me. She says, Elena, our oldest daughter at the time, well, still our oldest daughter. Our only daughter at the time. It's amazing how that works. My only daughter at the time. I come in and she says, Elena is running a very high fever. I think we might have to take her to the ER. Now, I've already had a week that was from you-know-where. And so now I'm sitting watching. Now, my car was broke. But that's all right. I can make more money and get a new car. I got a ticket. That's okay. I can work it off. I can pay off the ticket. I had a jerk for a boss, but that's okay. I can move and I can get a different job. That doesn't have to be the end. The air condition broke, and the air condition, yeah, that makes it extremely uncomfortable. But that's okay because I can still get the air conditioner fixed. But now it's my daughter. My only daughter at the time, and here I am thinking. Now, when my daughter was born, she was born with, there were some problems physically, and she spent time in the ICU, and I don't want to go through all the details, but immediately, anybody ever had a child that's been sick, and you know because of their past, you kind of freak out a little bit? Oh my God, what in the world is going on? Now, it's Saturday, and my wife's having to talk about rushing my child to the doctor. I'm about at the point where, God, I can deal with the boss. God, I can deal with everything else in the way this week has been. But Lord, now there is a situation. And now there is an issue that I can't take care of. I can't get enough money to make my daughter better. I have finally reached the end of the rope. There's nowhere else to turn. And so I found myself now just crying out, screaming.